Namaste. I am Dr. Nandini Dev of Lehigh University in the USA. I'm going to talk a little bit about my research on how transnational advocacy networks can best support developing countries' social movements. India has a vibrant civil society sector. There are over 2 million trusts, non-governmental organizations, religious associations, etc., registered with the state. Many organizations are tiny, one person operating out of their living room, while others, like Terry, have elaborate bureaucracies, infrastructure, and budgets. Given its colonial history, the civil society realm has often been implicated in debates over authenticity and undue foreign influence. Whether an organization receives funds from volunteers, corporations, the state, or foreign sources has also become a deeply politicized matter in contemporary India. Recent expulsions of some foreign NGOs and crackdowns on domestic activists alike demonstrate just how powerful this sector of society appears to the state. Environmental NGOs that stand in the way of extractive industries like logging and mining have been targeted, as have civil liberties organizations that document the abuse of power by state agencies in the service of an increasingly rapacious private sector. Within India, the suspicion of foreign funding is strangely leading to a greater embrace of corporate funding for NGOs, which is likely to make civil society less able to stand as a bulwark against the depredations of capitalism. Many of you are already partnered with Indian and other developing country NGOs, of course. How can you take those partnerships and use them to support social movements for transformational change? A social movement consists of political outsiders using extra-institutional methods to bring about change. The first thing social movements have to do is to denaturalize the status quo. And that is, they have to convince others that some practice is a problem. Once they have convinced people that there is indeed a problem with the way things are, the second step is to offer solutions to that problem. If the social movement is the first to make a previously existing practice visible, it is likely that its framing of the problem will be adopted. Framing the problem matters because the way a problem is framed shapes the set of solutions that seem to make sense for it. For instance, in India, the framing of bride burning in the 1980s led feminists to focus on dowry as a problem. An alternative frame of intimate partner violence could have led to a broader mobilization that would have taken on bride burnings, assault, and marital rape together. The singular focus on dowry thus meant that marital rape was not publicly discussed until the past few years. This work of offering an initial frame can be done by a single organization or even an individual if they can make an emotional connection with a broader network. Ask your local partners what issues have not been subjects of mobilization previously. Ask them to think about why they are accepted and how they might be changed. From these conversations, it's possible to see what kinds of frames are likely to lead to transformational solutions and which ones are more likely to be band-aids that leave underlying power dynamics intact. What strategies lead to success? Social movement success depends largely on what social scientists call political opportunity structures and resource mobilization. Political opportunities are created by openings in the power structure at the local, national, or international level. Times of great change and uncertainty can allow the normal and everyday to be reframed as remarkable and problematic. Election campaigns, scandals, and economic crises are often moments of opportunity. Activists should be prepared to take advantage of them to launch public campaigns. Resource mobilization refers to the material resources and social networks activists can use. This is where your organizations can play an important role. By making financial resources, professional services, and communications expertise available to local activists, you can help them strategize and amplify their message. Boosting the signal of local activists can allow their voices to reach government officials, the press, and can pressure their opponents into responding to demands. A major challenge to external aid agencies partnering with local groups to advance social change is the specter of imperialist intervention. The colonial experience and the ongoing imbalance of power, even within transnational advocacy networks, contributes to the perception that local NGOs are the puppets of aid agencies. There are two ways to avoid this. One is to work with very large membership-based organizations which derive their legitimacy and their agendas from their local members. Membership dues in combination with foreign contributions are powerful. The other strategy is to stay away from providing cash resources and instead creating workshops or organizations that train members of civil society in how to be effective change makers. Teaching activists how to write press releases, stage press-worthy demonstrations, and lobby government officials are skills that could be shared without regard to the causes activists are pushing. That is, if these trainings are open to anyone across the ideological spectrum, the fact that an activist has received this education does not become a cudgel with which to dismiss them as imperialist stooges. I wish I could have been with you in person, but hope very much you will contact me for further discussions. Thank you. Good luck.